Hey Genesee Valley, sports reporter Chris Graham here with sports reporter John Crowther for another edition of the Sunday Sports Show. We had another good week for all sports. Football first on Friday. Calmum Avon, you covered. What went down at the game?
I did. It was a great game Friday night in Avon as the Avon Braves rolled over the Calmum Raiders 39-8. Avon senior quarterback T.J. Cry led the way, 170 total yards, 3 touchdown passes. And Coach Engler told me after the game it was a great team effort and a great atmosphere for a game.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this a little bit off camera, but you would never want a coach to tell you, let's go out there and play in a bad atmosphere. You want to play in a good atmosphere. You want to be in front of your hometown crowd, be able to build off that, that energy from them, and allow that, that momentum sometimes to carry you to victory.
And I think that did. Again, Calmum's first loss of the season. I think Avon had to play their best to knock off a team as good as Calmum.
Yeah, and that's we saw them play their best. They had the hometown crowd behind them. They were able to use all that to beat Calmum, who also has had a really good season. That was a really good matchup on Friday.
And Avon will play at Warsaw next Friday.
As far as my game for this Friday, I covered Cuba Rushford and Geneseo, and for Geneseo, this was as close as they have come so far this season to picking up that illustrious first win. They did not get it, lose the game 32-26. But I think Coach Tim Dolgus' quote from after the game really describes what this game was. He said, by far the best effort, or the best game they've played thus far. And when you look at the score, and I was there and saw this kind of back and forth game with them and Cuba Rushford, it really was. It was the best foot they've put forward all year. We've seen them take some lumps early in the season, and I think this was a decent step forward.
It was, and I think Geneseo's got a lot to look forward to. They got a good young quarterback putting up good numbers. They're getting closer every week. I think they'll get that first win next week. Yeah,
and speaking of that quarterback, Trevor Frazier, a freshman, him and Ryan LeGros, one of their receivers, 3 different touchdown scores in the ball game. So if you're starting to get that development with a freshman quarterback and his receiving core, and that was another thing that Coach Dolgus spoke about, was just how committed Frazier is to getting out there early during practice and succeeding in the games. So if you've got that kind of drive from your freshman quarterback, maybe we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will, for Geneseo.
And it's something they really have to look forward to. Kid might have a bright young future here.
Yeah, exactly. With high school football, you can go from being bad to good very quickly. You just need the players, and maybe this game shows us a little bit of Geneseo's future and some of those players that might play a role in their return to prominence. They are 0-5 now. They'll play at Letchworth next Friday. Letchworth this Friday dealt with York, and York
they did, Chris.
handled them pretty easily.
One of the best defensive games we saw all weekend. York rolled over Letchworth 32-8.
Great game tonight, Deshaw.
Thank you.
Starting running back here for the York Golden Knights. Impressive win over Letchworth tonight. Coming into this game, how are you feeling?
I was feeling pretty confident. We've been practicing hard all week, and we all knew it was going to be a good game, and we came out and just got the job done.
Now, Deshaw, you had 3 interceptions tonight. How was your defensive game plan help you through this game tonight?
Our defense was great. We focused the whole game, didn't make many mistakes, and that helped us come out on top.
York quarterback Tyler Schutz, a man we've talked about a couple times on this show.
Probably every time.
Yeah, 237 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a constant contributor to the sports show. He's always
He is. And but the big story of this game is the York defense. 5 interceptions against Letchworth's offense.
Yeah, 5 interceptions. Sometimes a stat only put up by one Ryan Fitzpatrick, but we'll get to the Bills a little bit later. But yeah, like you said, defenses, they're really starting to show up a little bit, and that's something when we started covering games here a few weeks ago, we didn't have. We got a lot of shootouts, a lot of offensive, very offensive performances, and now we're starting to see the defenses come back to the pack a little bit and start to even off some of these games.
Yeah, and it's a good thing for York. They'll play Bolivar Richburg next week at home in York. And York moves to 3-2 as well.
Yeah, so another good week in the books for Section 5 football. Like we said, I think if we're taking a big storyline out of this, I mean, I think we just kind of covered it, but defenses starting to get
the emergence of the defense in Section 5 football.
Yeah, the emergence of the defense finally now in what would be about week 5, week 6 here. So just about that same time that they would do in the NFL of starting to get that consistency, even off with the offenses a little bit. So expect some much closer games as we continue on through the season. In other sports news, we had Genesee's girls volleyball team. They were in action on Friday as well at Geneseo right before the football game kicked off. They had a 3-set victory over Perry, and they improved the record now, John, to 9-1. And just that number in and amongst itself, very impressive.
It is impressive, but you have to remember they haven't won anything yet. They need to keep their foot on the gas. They need to keep playing hard week in and week out like they have been.
Yeah, and that's what their head coach Chris Butera, he kind of stressed that same point of saying that he always tries to raise the bar higher, and that's something that you really have to see, and we do see in all sports. You don't want to get, and I think he used this word as well, you don't want to get complacent. And the second that you think that you can beat everybody, that's when somebody's going to sneak up and get you. So it's definitely good to see that he's managing his team to say, kind of like you said, you haven't won anything yet. We got to keep playing hard. We got to keep doing what we're doing, and keep on keeping on and succeeding, but also keep it in that mindset that on any given day, some team can get you if you're not prepared.
That's right. Just play hard week in, week out.
Also this weekend, we had the Ramon Roca 5K event. Our own Josh Williams was there. He talked with local lawyer and runner Andrew Embroski with a report. Here's Josh Williams.
How did you feel that the race went for you today, Mr. Embroski?
It was fantastic, except for this hill.
The hill? What did you do? How did you will yourself up the hill?
I have no idea. I went slow.
Did you?
Went slow.
Do you know what your time was?
24:22.
Excellent. Good job. Is that what you did last year? Did you run this last year?
I didn't run it last year, but it's a personal best.
Congratulations. Good job.
I'll take it.
Excellent. Good job.
Thanks, Josh, for that report. And John, a little bit of SUNY soccer action.
Yeah, the SUNY Geneseo men's soccer dropped one Saturday to SUNY Oneonta by a score of 4-1. SUNY Geneseo drops to 3-5-2. They'll play next week against Nazareth College and SUNY Brockport.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking a little bit about this game as well. 4-1. Certainly that's a high-scoring game for soccer, but we'll expect them to bounce back a little bit next week.
We will. They'll look to improve. These look like good games next week.
Yep. And finally, we'll finish off here with the 136th hunt season started this past weekend, and as I'm sure all the viewers have started to see, we here at the Genesee Sun, we do a lot of crazy stuff. We do a lot of zany stuff, and we're willing to try anything. And that idea, I guess, comes from our boss, Josh Williams. And his idea this week, or for the fox hunt, I should say, is putting a camera on one of his hounds as they got into the fox hunt. We were, the video is ridiculous as far as the animal doesn't know that it's carrying a camera, so it's bouncing all around. But we're not sure if it's our greatest hit or our greatest miss, but
it's something to
do. Like,
it is. And if you want more information on the Genesee Valley Hunt races, go to www.gvhraces.com.
That's all for this week's sports show. We hope you've enjoyed it. Always keep tuned to every Sunday for the Genesee Sun Sports Show. For John Crowther, I'm Chris Graham. Have a good night, Genesee Valley, and go Bills. Whether they win or lose, we always still love you.